Yeah. Thank you, Alex. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn. I just want to share real quick, in this webinar, what we want to do is help experienced and beginning traders find hidden trading opportunities by providing professional market analysis, also some trading tips, and of course, Dr. Steve brings along trade setups that he's been assessing through the week. Steve, are you with us? He's on mute right now. Steve, are you there? Okay, I'm sure he'll answer us.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I am, Dennis. I just had a computer glitch.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So, okay, let's get going here. And so, like I said, we would basically want to provide trading steps. If this is, again, I'm the founder of Active Trend Trading, and my objective has always been to clarify and simplify the trading process so members can basically increase the probability of multiplying their profits. So if you're new to YouTube or haven't joined us on the YouTube channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. It's down below, down in this area. And also a little bell will come up. If you just ring the bell one time, you'll get notification when we do post more things to YouTube. And if you'll hang around till the end, we do have a bonus on how to, not just the stocks we're going to talk about today, but how to get hooked into the Power Rank Elite list that I do every week. So let's get going. There we go. And just as a reminder, yes, we do this for training purposes only. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. So the intent, as I said earlier, for this is to basically of how to make money trading stocks, options, and ETFs is that we can help people, not just survive, but thrive in any type of market. I want to provide professional market analysis with timely, actionable intel that clarifies, simplifies the trading decisions so your wealth and profits can be multiplied. My basic market analysis for today is, well, the market's selling off. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But overall, the market has been taking bad news in stride. You get kind of a sell-off first, over in the evening session in the futures, but then the market tends to bounce back at the end of the day. We've had a real strong showing, excuse me, the first 3 weeks of the year. And that's always an interesting sound to hear. But we've had a really good showing the first 3 weeks of the year. So a little bit of profit taking should not be a surprise. Should not be a surprise whatsoever. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to still be trading the pullbacks until the pullbacks stop working. So briefly, we're going to look at the index stock and stock performance, and then Steve has a bonus stock that he's going to be looking at. Steve, have you made up your mind? Are you going to do TSM, PAGS, or are you going to do Lulu or BABA?
I'm not going to do any of them. Given the sell-off in the market, my position is to not take a position today, but I'd be watching those. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So you're going to just stand by.
Right.
And see what takes place. Well, let's get over here and start looking at some charts right away. So here's where we sit as of the first of the year. As you can see, isn't that interesting? The Russell. As I took the snapshot of the Russell at about 9 o'clock Pacific this morning, it was basically no change since the beginning of the year. Since I took this snapshot, though, Russell has fallen down a little bit more. I don't know how much exactly. but it has fallen off just a little bit more. We're getting a little bit more follow through on the current sell-off that's underway. I'm gonna bring up my prop. There we go. And so, yeah, the Russell, yeah, it's down about another 12 points from where it's at. So it's down for the year and down for the month. One of the things nice about what we've been doing with active trend trading is we have been basically focused on strategy 2 and strategy 1, but taking profits off the table at appropriate points in time. And Steve, I have to give you kudos because your encouragement is what got me to go back and take a look at how I was operating with my 8-day moving average rule. And I made some adjustments to that. And oh boy, I tell you, active trend trading finished off 2020, or correction, 2019, really, really very strongly. And so as we take a look at what's going on, we are just finishing up one more week in the month of January. And we've got a little bit of sideways movement, typically in the NASDAQ going through the first 3 months of the year. Gold, we're anticipating gold typically gets a little bit of bid up in the January, February timeframe. Towards the end of February, it'll tend to drop off. We're seeing that hat take place as we speak. The gold miners are, in fact, we just opened a position in those yesterday, and they're doing pretty well. Let's take a look at the charts. Okay, what I've got here on the right-hand side, I've got the daily chart. On the left-hand side, I have the weekly chart. It's typically, so let's take a look at what the S&P, the spiders are doing. As you see, I had marked this 1618 extension. It was basically the Fibonacci extension for the current, there we go. Get my drawing tools up here. It was the 1618 extension for this move. Basically, that move there, and then it bounced up, and isn't interesting. It got right to the 1618, slightly above it, and now it's kind of selling off. What do we have going on? Well, today's candle, if that stays in effect, it has basically engulfed all of it. It is a bearish engulfing, which is a bearish reversal signal, and it's engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days worth of price action. Looks like it's going to move below the 8-day moving average. So the next area of support we'd anticipate would be at the 20. However, that's what this kind of reddish line, maroon line is. And then of course we've got the 50 that's all the way down here. Notice how the 50 here corresponds pretty close to these past lows at the 120 level. And so we could get a pullback all the way to there. We'll see. We'll see. So as Steve was saying, did we have any clues going into that we might get some kind of a rollover and sell off? Well, yeah, we had negative divergence on the TSI, which is a momentum indicator, and we are getting a little bit of a tick down on the market forecast. If that continues to roll over and steepen, stand by. Would be a high probability that we would test down in this area here, about the 320 level. That's about what is that? About 11 points lower on the S&P. We could do that intraday sometime next week, because what do we have going on next week? Well, we've got the Fed reports out. We've got the impeachment hearings going on over the weekend. So there's a lot of things that could shake loose the what's going on in the indexes. QQQ. Okay, QQQ again. Bearish engulfing right now, holding right at the 8-day moving average. I like QQQ where? I like QQ down here at the 20 or the 50, which is all the way down here. But again, notice what's going on here with the with those indexes. Is the 50 here is corresponding with these past lows over here. So that should tell us that in this range here, get rid of that, and I'll just draw this little range in here. In this range here, that's where we're going to anticipate some strong support. So a bounce off the 215 to 211 level would not be surprising. Of course, we could slice on down through it if things, for whatever reason, went south over the weekend. We could see things drop off. The thing that's going on in China is something that have to do with some kind of a virus over there. I think it's and it's impacting their workforce. And our last but not least, IWM. The IWM continues to be the weakest of the indexes. It pushed up, got back up into the, and I'll show you what this is over here. It got back up into the resistance zone from past highs, but then it's backed off of that. It still is in a very good position for a uptrend. In other words, this is still intact. However, what are we getting? Bearish reversal signal. That was a dark cloud. Sell off, sell off, sell off. Held on the 20. Now we're getting a move down past the 20. Where's the next spot where we can anticipate the potential of a reversal? Well, back down here about the 50-day moving average, which is at what, 163.54. For right now, I'm not doing a darn thing. I am not taking any new positions on until the candlesticks start and we start getting into some stronger support areas, because right now this is just a sell-off. I mean, it can stop anywhere from where it's at, because there's support in here. It can stop anywhere from where it's at down to this 164. And so the level where it's at right now, get down here, is about 164.74. And so, Steve, that's all I've got for the markets. Are you seeing anything that I'm missing?
No, I completely with what you say. I think it's the markets speaking to us. It'll tell us when it's time to get back in, but that's not right now.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the things I'd like to do is to review the BABA trade from last week, which turned out to be a loser.
Okay.
But I think there's there's a good principle there.
Okay. I will pop up BABA, and
okay.
You've got a minute and a half. No.
Okay, got it. Okay, we entered BABA on Friday last week on Friday last week on that green bar as we broke above the pullback to the ADMA.
Right there.
But near the open on Monday or on Tuesday, we gapped down below the ADMA, and that was pretty much an immediate exit.
Okay.
At or near the open. Now, normally I like pullbacks, and yesterday I was thinking I like to re-enter on pullbacks.
Yeah.
That I stop out on, but I didn't like the gap down yesterday, so I decided to wait another day. And today's action really illustrates a beautiful Wyckoff perspective. Given the action today, we now have the largest pullback.
Yes.
We're into the largest pullback since the uptrend in BABA began about 3 months ago.
Okay. And how does Wyckoff?
And that's negative in terms of there's a change in character of this for the stock, and what it suggests is we're in for a consolidation period.
Okay.
Before the uptrend resumes or breaks down.
Okay.
So some non-directional strategies might be something worth considering at this point. I would say if the support area holds where we are right now at around 210 to 212, I think credit spreads below or credit spreads above would be a real interesting way to buy some time before the trend tells us about its next direction.
Okay. So yeah, and
That's
I
it.
don't do I don't do credit spreads per se. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm looking at more or less the same thing that you're looking at. I'm watching, okay, this appears right now as if it is going to challenge this uptrend line. It may bounce there, it may not.
Right.
It's a toss up.
That's
However,
correct.
with the 8 and 20 getting really close to crossing over to the downside, I'm sitting there going, this is probably going to go a little bit deeper in its consolidation. I see here there is nothing that's telling us that the momentum indicators are reversing yet. Nothing that's saying the market forecast on a weekly basis is reversing yet. We've just had a significant crossover on the weekly uh, um, true strength index. And again, the longer term momentum on BABA here is bending to the downside.
Correct.
Now, if we didn't have earnings coming up here, which is on the 13th, I would be looking at any kind of a retracement back into the midsection of today's candle, or maybe even use the 20-day moving average. Just reverse the polarity and look to trade that to the downside. So
I agree.
it's
And earnings will probably be the catalyst that decides which way it breaks.
okay. I am going to throw up a couple just to guys keep on your radar. I like these stocks. They're really strong in the IBD watch list, and it's INMD. I know Steve had been watching this one. I kind of
Absolutely.
missed it down here.
So did I.
However, it is giving a nice little pullback, and this is a newer entity. And look for it, look for it off the 20, or it may hold this breakout. We'll see. So INMD, I like it somewhere between right here at 45 down to the 4140 area, which is the 50-day moving average. The other one is keep your eye on Rite Aid. Rite Aid for as a potential turnaround target. Rite Aid basically came down here and bounced off the 50, rebounded, and you have to remember these rebounds here off the 50. That was a darn good rebound right here. This here to there, that was an 18% move or 21% move, guys. And so keep an eye on this one, because this is where it just raced out of the box on earnings, bounced up here, and then sold off real hard, but it's still held way up here above the 50. And so if Rite Aid is going to turn out to be a turnaround story, we'll look for a potential reversal in it. When's it going to come?
And,
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
and it's also holding what was previously resistance, now support at its recent low.
Yes, exactly. And so, and that recent low also is a breakout zone right at the,
That's
you
right.
can see here,
The
breakout here.
the prior breakout of the prior resistance, right?
So, and just a real quick question is the BABA drop pretty much because of the China virus? I think so, Alex. I mean, it's if it's not one thing, it's another. With the Chinese trade deal, they finally got that in gear, and now all of a sudden the virus drops in. So I think it's impacting and hammering. But you have to remember also, and I'll throw this up there really quick, and then we got to move on. Throw it on BABA. Look at this heck of a move on BABA. I mean, we went from from October. I mean, it ran almost 40%. So,
Right.
well, actually more than 40, almost, a little bit over 42%. So even if it pulls back 10% or 15%, that's still within the reasonable amount you would expect for a nice pullback. So, okay, thanks, Steve. That works good. Let me get over here.
Okay.
And so I agree with your patient type of approach. So, hey, if you need a speaker for one of your groups, just give me a buzz. I can either do a webinar, or if you're on island, we can do a live presentation. We got monthly BAM meeting coming up on that's next Saturday of next week, the 1st. And we're going to be working on 2020, your year for breakthrough and prosperity. And then, Steve, I've put in here a tentative February 11th for the Honolulu meetup. And I'm not sure that it's going to be exactly there. And then, let's see, premium members, we do have our 2 live markets. We'll do one at the top of the hour for the final hour. And then also, if you are just, if you, regardless if you're a premium or a free active trend trading members, please go over to our YouTube channel, my YouTube channel at Market Tech Talk. I've started to update and provide market trading tips on a weekly basis. Now so I'm anticipating putting one out tomorrow, and so we'll progress from there. So with that, hey, again, 2020 is off to a really strong start. Premium members, hang around. We'll be back up at the top of the hour. And so from my house to you, aloha, trade well, and prosper. Have a great weekend. And if you stay all the way until the final card shows up, there'll be an icon drop down right here that explains how to get access to the Power Rank Elite Watchlist. And coming up on this side over here will be a recommended next video in the series of training videos that we're working on. So with that, I'll bid you adieu. Thanks, Steve, for coming on board. And with that, aloha. God bless everybody.